Hello there, fabulous people. How are you all doing today? Well, if you're anything like me, you're probably still on the floor, attempting to recover from the soap opera that is King Charles and his Knights of the Round Table. To me, this whole thing was William stamping on his own brother to the extent that he endangered his life with King Charles co signing on it. My goodness, the Bible warned us about wickedness in high places. I'm sure they were thinking about King Charles and William when they said that. Hi guys, I'm Wizzy. If you're new to my corner of the internet, a warm welcome to Isabella Banks' YouTube channel. Here we dive headfirst into the latest happenings revolving around Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan. So make yourself at home and let's get into the conversation. Special shout out to Lydia Washington. You know you're onto something when even the OGs are tuning in. Thanks, Lydia. So, we're going to be continuing our review of the Byline Times article, which was released earlier this week, focusing our attention on the remaining articles. I think there were four articles. I did the first one the last time. We've got three left to do. The remaining articles discuss the outcome of Simon Case's internal investigation. Just in case you've forgotten, Simon Case was the private secretary of Prince William and Kate Middleton at the time. Okay, we'll be going on to discuss the whistleblower's email to Nick Davis. Nick Davis is the investigator whose investigation for The Guardian exposed the phone hacking scandal at the News of the World paper, leading to the newspaper's closure in 2011 and a major Old Bailey trial. Before we dive in, if you're new here, please subscribe. That helps to amplify the Sussex friendly voices. Please also like the video, as when you like the video, it tells YouTube that this content is popular and pushes it out to more people. If there was ever a time when the undecided in our community needed to see Sussex friendly content, it is now. We can no longer afford to remain passive in our efforts to win this battle. If you're a returning subscriber, please like this video to push the video to the surface. Thank you for my day ones for your continued support. Okay, now let's dive in now that all protocols have been observed. So, I'm not going to bore you with a line by line reading of these articles. I'll just give you the highlights because other channels, I'm sure, have done it and done it better than I will be able to do anyway. In my last episode on this story, we had discussed how King Charles had removed Prince Harry's funding and security 3 months into the trial period agreed at the Sandringham Summit because he had refused to remove the name of a royal aide from legal papers, which he had issued to danwootton's employers, the Sun. Just to tell you how evil it is, day after day for the last 3 years, Dan Wootton has publicly bashed Harry and Meghan, knowing the truth of exactly what was going on, but choosing to spin the royal palace's narrative every day, or more or less every other day, several times a day for the last 3 years. Dan Wootton has abused Harry and Meghan. What's the palace's reasoning for allowing something like this to happen? An internal investigation by Simon Case, who was private secretary to Prince William and Kate at the time. Case concluded without much investigation that the royal aide wasn't guilty of leaking information to the press. Now, let's jump into the second article, titled In Plain Sight: The Picture the Palace Probe Missed. Despite Casey's verdict, there's a photograph floating around showing Christian Jones and his partner cozying up to none other than Dan Wootton, the Cash for Leaks journalist. An attendee of the celebrations confirmed that everyone who attended was a member of Dan's special group of mates. But here's where it gets spicy. Dan Wootton paid Christian Jones's partner for some stories after Jones joined Prince William and Kate's team. This led to an internal investigation at The Sun, fearing that they'd get dragged into a leak scandal just a few years after some of its journalists were prosecuted over payment to public officials for information. Whilst the Sun never confirmed anything, Prince Harry, armed with credible but anonymously supplied information, was threatening to sue the tabloids over publications of stories written by Dan Wootton. The case was then handed off to Buckingham Palace and Neil Basu, Britain's top anti terrorism police officer. Remember Neil? He's the guy who confirmed that Harry and Meghan faced real terrorist threats. Although now I'm wondering why he's no longer Britain's top anti terrorism cop. Someone clearly didn't make Buckingham Palace happy. According to the Byline report, the police couldn't dig deeper because they couldn't find the whistleblower. So, Simon Case, the private secretary to Prince William and Kate, got the job of doing an internal investigation. During the investigation, Christian Jones admitted he knew Wooten professionally but denied being BFFs. He also admitted that Wooten paid his partner, but it had nothing to do with Harry and Meghan. It was all about clients. So Christian got off the hook and even got some promotions along the way. Talk about a huge coincidence. Can you imagine being Harry and Meghan in this mess? The palace had effectively chosen an aide over them. Christian Jones was the guy handling the Instagram account. That's like handing the keys to your social media kingdom to the wrong knight in shining armor. Just looking back a bit, when Christian Jones joined Prince William's household, just a few weeks into his role, Jones fumbled his role by becoming the subject of a story written when he joined Meghan for a low key lunch. This is a no no for someone in his role. He sounds like a fame and money hungry, sleazy piece of work. But here's the kicker: after the payments investigation, the social connection between Jones, his partner, and Wooten vanished. It's like they had their own breakup at Buckingham. Despite his fumbles, though, Jones spent 3 years working with William and Kate, and he even stepped into Simon Case's shoes when Boris Johnson decided he needed Simon for his government. It's like a never ending royal game of musical chairs. We're talking about an incestuous relationship between the press and the royal family that's so tangled, it's like a pretzel of power. And speaking of pretzels, is there such a thing as separation of power in the British political system? Or is it just an illusion? Now, can we all take a moment to wonder why Prince Harry couldn't get security even when he offered to foot the bill? I mean, even shop owners now are allowed to pay for police security to prevent shoplifting, and yet they say Harry could not. It's like they're saying, sorry, Harry, your money's no good here, mate. I love the fact that Prince Harry has been busy challenging every damn thing. And I'm guessing they didn't expect him to push back this hard. Anyway, let's get back to the drama. Jones eventually left William and Kate to become a partner and head of corporate affairs for an investment fund worth 31.56 billion in the city. I guess he figured it was time for a change from dealing with royals to dealing with piles of money. Mission de Rea, solicitors for Dan Wootton, continue to deny that any unlawful payments were made to a public official or a proxy, and that the allegations are part of the smear campaign by unknown bad actors. Who are these unknown bad actors? Moving on to the third article, the emails behind the Cash for Leaks affair. It turns out that three former colleagues of Dan Wootton went to great lengths to hide their identities while blowing the whistle on payments to a senior royal aide's partner. It's like they were secret agents operating from the shadows. Questions were raised at the Sun about why thousands of pounds were being paid for stories that weren't making it to the front pages. News UK denies any foul play, and Jones and his partner deny spilling the royalty to the Sun. The emails from the whistleblowers, published in the Byline Times article, are like a treasure map to a hidden scandal. The text of the emails written by the whistleblowers addressed to Nick Davis were published in the Byline Times article, the summary of which are as follows. So, in the email, the whistleblower expresses concern about alleged corrupt payments within the company, particularly involving a top editor named, guess who? Yep, Dan Wootton. These payments are connected to stories about the royal family, including the Duchess of Sussex, and are suspected to involve a public official, which would violate company rules. The whistleblower alleged that the issue had been hushed up and raises questions about the company's internal compliance policies and their effectiveness in preventing bribery allegations. The email suggests that there is a payment trail that can be investigated, and the whistleblower seeks to bring attention to this situation. Nick Davis received these emails and thought, whoa, ho, ho, this is serious stuff. So he passed them on to Harry's lawyers. And when the criminal aspect didn't pan out because they couldn't locate the whistleblower, Harry decided to go full sue the tabloids mode. It's like he's playing legal chess while everybody else is stuck in a game of legal checkers. Finally, the last article talks about the need for a truth algorithm in media. That's a genius idea because let's be honest, some news outlets have turned fake news into an art form. Maybe it's time to make journalists take a truth serum before reporting. But the real question is what happened here? It seems like this whole mess can be traced back to William in particular. All of this was coming from his own office. King Charles just co signed on it, although that makes him the worst father ever. But yeah, the fire actually started in William's office. The royal family drama is like a relay race of bad decisions, and they passed the baton with gusto. I don't even still think now that they still understand what they have done wrong. Hats off to Prince Harry and Meghan for handling all this madness with dignity and grace. As for Kensington Palace, they tried to copy Harry and Meghan's style to erase them from history and undermine their relevance. But this article from Byline Times has come out of left field and completely eviscerated all their efforts. Just like when you're trying to copy a masterpiece, but you end up with a finger painting. Now, guys, how can we help Harry and Meghan at this stage in the face of these heightened threats to them? Here are some ideas. If you're on Twitter, set a daily reminder to repost the byline story on Twitter. Let's keep it trending like the royal drama it is. Don't forget to use the hashtag King Charles the Cruel. I'll leave it in my description box of this video. Let's make it trend. One thing they didn't count on was the Sussex god. And poor Diana, because all her own issues happened outside of the time of social media. If you have any other ideas on what we can do to help the Sussexes win this war, drop your comments in the comment section below. Unless there is another breaking story, we'll be moving our focus to Prince William and Kate. For now, that's a wrap. Until next time, take care, stay fabulous, and keep thriving. Bye!